Alright, what's up champions? This is Dominik Sky in my very first episode of ASKDOM. Alright, so I printed a whole bunch of questions. Hopefully I'll get through most of them today, but if not, there's always tomorrow. Alright, so pretty much everybody was asking about a gym tour, so I'm definitely gonna make one. So in the next video, possibly the next week, Johnny?
Yeah, next week.
Next week, we're filming a gym tour where I'm gonna explain how we build this shit and how we put all this together and how we changed across the past 10 years or something like that. And everybody also wanted a video on how I healed my herniated disc with squats and deadlifts. Alright, so after the gym tour video, I'm also gonna make a video about the herniated discs and squats and deadlifts. Alright, now let's start with the questions. So first we have Dertanix. How do you deal with moments of failures, injuries, etc.? So yeah, that's a pretty common question. So the first thing is, you don't give up, you fucking learn from it. That's the most important thing. So always when there's a failure, it happens for a reason. So we did something wrong, or something was maybe we pushed ourselves a little bit too hard, or just did some stupid shit, or sometimes we didn't do anything wrong, but it's just the fact that shit happens. So basically, how do you deal with it? You try to figure out what happened and where it went wrong, and you don't do the stuff that hurts for a while, and you try to do the other stuff that doesn't hurt. So I don't know, for example, if I would injure my wrist, for example, I don't know, being too obsessed with a planche and leaning a bit too much forward, or doing just too much handstand and stuff like that, I'll first make sure to realize what I did wrong. So maybe my frequency, my volume was a bit too great, or I was just trying out some stupid shit. So in that case, I would make sure not to do that in the future, or do less of it. But basically try to learn from it, so you realize where the injury came from, and then you try to avoid that uncomfortable pain. So if you go back into the training, so maybe the push-ups on the floor would feel a bit tricky for the wrist, but maybe the parallettes where the wrist is in a neutral position, maybe there it actually feels completely okay. So you can definitely try to move around the injury and continue with your training. But yeah, failures definitely occur, but you gotta make sure to keep going. Alright, we got a next question. Haval Atroshai, hopefully I read it wrong. So, will a Daniel Vandal, aka Fitness FAQ collab, happen after the damn COVID is over? Well, that's an interesting question. So the collaboration almost happened actually when I was in Thailand. So me and Daniel actually write each other on Instagram from time to time. So yeah, I would definitely love to make something. I would definitely love to make that happen. It's just, yeah, we gotta get through the damn COVID and isolation and all of that stuff. So hopefully within the near future, maybe, I'm not too optimistic about this year regarding traveling too much. I also have a lot of goals regarding my MMA training. So I need to move to Ljubljana, then I need to move to Israel for a short period of time, then I need to go to Zagreb, Croatia to train with Mirko Krokap for a month or two, and then I need to go to United States and kick some ass. So maybe not this year, but next year hopefully we can make a collaboration. That would be awesome. Alright, we got a next question. Little Paddler 8. Oh, there's a long one. There are already loads of videos about specific moves, planches, etc. It would be great if you could do more videos about how to train, like how to identify weak points, how to recover from common injuries like tendinitis, how to train efficiently and avoid wasting time. Jesus Christ, I think every one of my videos is on that subject. So, how to identify weak points. Did I make a video about weak links in the kinetic chain?
Yeah.
Yeah, is that on YouTube? Okay, so that'd be a good video to take a look at. So Dominik Sky, weak links in the kinetic chain. So that's basically how to identify weak spots, especially with upper body strength training. This is very, very important. So with the lower body, if you do squats and deadlifts, you can't really miss it. But for the upper body, considering the glenohumeral joint as the most complex joint in the human body, and we got all sorts of movements that we can do here with the scapula position. So that's why it's a bit more complex, because you can do a push-up with a retracted scapula position or protracted scapula position, and you're targeting different muscles. So even something as simple as this can be crucial when it comes to training for the planche, for example. But yeah, I would definitely suggest to take a look at that video, how to train efficiently, avoid wasted time. So I would suggest to just this is a bit of a general question, but I would suggest you pick specific exercises which are very complex and gonna work in the long term. Something like developing a weighted chin-up is a beautiful thing, and you can play around with that for a very freaking long time. You target the bicep, you target the lats, you can do it with a bit more retracted position, you're gonna target your back, or with a bit protracted, you're gonna get the bicep in and the forearm and stuff like that. And you can continue to improve on that for a very, very long time until you achieve the one-arm chin-up. You can work out with assisted one-arm chin-ups as well and stuff like that. But the weighted chin-up is definitely one of the things I would put up there that's very, very important. And one of those things is military press as well. Regarding the pressing, military press is such a valuable exercise. Regarding pressing strength, it's very easy to also change difficulty, considering you can simply choose different weights. But yeah, that would be an exercise I would do maybe even twice a week, and weighted chin-ups as well. And then you can play around with the progression. So sometimes you do chin-ups, sometimes you do them on the rings, on the bar, you go neutral grip and stuff like that. But those are the patterns that are very, very important for developing upper body strength. Is military presses, weighted chin-ups. I would also say weighted dips, not the most important thing, but quite important, and developing your push-up, developing a fully protracted push-up, and then also leaning forward in that protraction to develop the serratus anterior and the freaking deltoid. If you can't protract, you can't develop the deltoid. So very, very important to do that. Train upper body strength twice a week, pulling twice a week, pressing twice a week, lower body twice a week. You can't miss it. You're going to be efficient, and make sure at the end of the week you're not sore as shit. And at the start of the next week, you should feel pretty damn good. So you should be able to lift the same weight you did on the Monday prior to that, or higher weight. But if it's lower, take an active rest week or something. Alright, so yeah, that'll be it. Alright, next question. Bertold Andras, working out for teenagers, side effects, benefits, tips, and what to look out for. Side effects, what are the side effects, Johnny? Feeling good, being muscular, having a good bicep, feeling confident, looking amazing, being able to do muscle ups, you're more strong, you can climb on shit, you look better, you can go out on the beach and you can just feel fantastic. And yeah, those are some of the side effects. Yeah?
And the ladies love you.
The ladies love you, yeah, so it's all of the good stuff. All of that shit that was said in the past about, oh, if you lift weights when you're younger makes you short and stuff like that, that's all bullshit. Yeah, so just glad we clear that up. Benefits, tips, like I told you before, pulling and pressing twice a week. You can do them in the same session, so that would be 2 sessions, or you can do them pulling in one session, pressing in the other session if you like to train every day, so that would be pull, press, legs, or you can do pulling and pressing on Monday and then legs on Tuesday, and then you simply do that one more time during the week. So that'd be a fantastic way to start training. Make sure you're not sore all the time. Make sure you're not pushing too hard. Yeah, that's actually important. The exercises should look good. It should look like you know what you're doing. From the somebody is like out there in the gym and it's watching you and you're doing dips or something. It should look like, oh, that guy is doing like some clean dips. That should the other guy be thinking. Not, oh, that's some like shit like that, or it's like, oh, that guy is really killing himself. No, you shouldn't think that. You should think like, oh, those are some nice reps. That's how it should be. Should be difficult from time to time, but should also be easy from time to time. Make sure not to push too hard. What to look out for: don't do stupid deadlifts and squats. Don't like measure your dicks in the gym when you're doing squats and deadlifts. Oh, who can lift more weight, or can I lift 150? Oh, that guy pulled this much, I want to pull that much. That's the easiest way to fuck up your back, which means fucking up your health. So, which is a very shitty thing to do early on, especially when you're young. On the other hand, squats and deadlifts are a fantastic exercise, and if you do them correctly, you will benefit from a stronger back. You're going to be able to jump more, sprint faster, be stronger, have a better core stability, so all of the good stuff as well. So I would suggest if you're doing squats and deadlifts, learn how to do them correctly, watch some Mark Ripeto's videos, watch my Instagram videos and stuff like that, so you can see actually how it's performed and how it should look like. Make sure you're performing with a straight lower back, go as deep as you feel comfortable, and for the love of God, do not do heavy singles. So do about, if you do 3 sets of 5 twice per week on the squat, and 2 sets of 5 reps on the deadlift twice per week, that would be absolutely fantastic. And if you slowly progress up in weight, absolutely beautiful. So please do that. All right. And if you can't freaking touch your toes with straight legs, then don't do conventional deadlift. Do a bit wider stance You don't have to go like super sumo deadlift to really reduce the range of motion to freaking like shit. But go a little bit wider so you can engage your glutes and you go into a mechanically nicer position for your squat and deadlift. And also I'm going to make a video on squat and deadlift, so make sure to stick around and we're going to get that covered. We right now, it's 10 minutes? What?
10 minutes.
10 minutes, alright, we got some more time. Hopefully this is not boring as shit. Alright, Gabriel Ramon, love that name. Would be great to see a video on how you structure your MMA training. Okay, would be great to see a video. We can definitely make a video about that as well. For now, to be completely honest, my MMA training is a little bit limited, so I'm not doing so much kicking. I'm really focusing primarily on boxing because I think that's an aspect of MMA that's extremely important. And it's the aspect where I'm not extremely gifted because I have pretty short arms, so my reach is not my strong side. And I'm quite heavy, so I'm 90 kgs right now, 182 centimeters, 6 feet. So I'm going to be the smaller of the guys. So when it comes to a close-up, I need to be very good at boxing. I'm very stable on my feet. My takedown defense is freaking phenomenal. My footwork is freaking phenomenal because I trained a lot of football. So yeah, how do I structure it? I practice boxing 5 times a week, sparring 3 times per week. That's 5 sessions, so 2 sessions are purely technique. And then I do kicking so far just once a week for about 2 hours. Kicking is actually my strong side, it's actually something I feel very comfortable at. My high kick could use a little bit of work on the left side considering the middle split is not perfect. But yeah, so far once a week, because this is definitely something I feel very comfortable at. And later on, I'm going to introduce grappling as soon as I finish with the National Boxing Championship, which is going to be exciting as shit. Alright, AFGA. I lost motivation, help me. Jesus. I think you should pray a little bit to Jesus and he's going to help you. So, but okay, we have a good video actually. Me and I showed Johnny a couple of days earlier a video on Les Brown. So type down Les Brown. It's not over until I win. Boom. So write this down. It's a speech. I can't remember the actual year. I think it was 1994 or something like that. It's a speech, just a phenomenal speech, like a 30-minute speech about this guy who became a motivational speaker, and I was just simply blown away. His story is simply fantastic, and the way he tells it is just beautiful. And he was labeled mentally retarded, and when he was like in, I don't know, 4th grade and 5th grade, and then they reduced him down in 4th grade, and then he was all the way up till high school. He thought he was mentally retarded, and then he realized that that's just a label that somebody put on, and somebody's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. And he started working on himself, he started developing himself, and it took a long freaking time, but right now he's actually a very successful man and one of the ranked #1 motivational speaker in the world. And his speech, like, there was like 60 or 70,000 people watching him. I mean, I would be like fucking terrified if I would have to speak like Jesus Christ, 70,000 people. And this guy freaking pulled it off, and it's just an amazing story. And if you lost some of your motivation, just look at that video, and that's I'm sure you're gonna get back on track. All right, let's say one more question.
One more question.
All right, not to make this too long. All right, Victor Bueno, how do you strengthen your tendons after having a tennis elbow? I'm currently struggling to get back into pushing exercises. How much sense does that make to you? I have a tennis elbow. I'm currently struggling to get back into pushing exercises. Okay. Well, let's just clarify some things. There's golfer's elbow, which is having pain about somewhere here, and there's a tennis elbow, where usually the brachialis or brachioradialis is inflamed. So it usually happens when you do some pronated pulling or neutral grip pulling or any kind of pulling, but usually not pushing. So I'm not sure when you feel pain in your tennis elbow pain during the pushing exercise, unless you're doing pseudo planche push-ups where if you go very deep, you're definitely doing a little bit of pulling, so the bicep engages. So but basically I had the tennis elbow on the left arm from doing too much arm wrestling and doing it too often and too intense. So basically it took a very freaking long time to get back. And one of my students, Kyle, developed a golfer's elbow, and it also takes quite a surprisingly long time to heal that shit. So first thing I would say is try to avoid that. So how to avoid that? If you feel any pain right here or right here, make sure to switch up your exercise a little bit. So usually if you're doing only pull-ups and too many pull-ups, you're relying too much on your brachialis and brachioradialis for pulling, because when the hand is pronated, they're 90% engaged. So really make sure to work on some freaking chin-ups and also on improving your bicep strength. So doing some bicep curls would be actually a great idea. Usually the injury happens because you're weak or because you're doing it too often. So what can you do? You can strengthen it, or usually, yeah, it was because you're doing it too often. So whatever you're really doing, so maybe pull-ups, don't do it 3, 4, 5 times a week and grease the groove with it and do too many reps. Do it freaking twice per week, tops. And then switch up occasionally and do freaking chin-ups for your primary exercise, and do pull-ups as an accessory exercise. So for example, if you're working on your weighted pull-up for about 6 weeks, 8 weeks, you increase the strength in that, but then you back off a little bit and you switch up before you specialize and develop that injury. So some are more luckier than other. I was doing weighted pull-ups for freaking 4 or 5 years. I didn't have a golfer's elbow at all at any point. I was doing 80 kg weighted pull-ups, 40 kg for 15 reps. Some ridiculous shit, but I was lucky enough to be strong as shit, and it didn't happen. But then later on in my life, it did happen, and it was going on and off for about 6 months. That's a long freaking time, and it was going on for that long because I didn't admit myself that I was injured. So at first you gotta admit, okay, I fucked something up. This is bothering me. It's not just bothering me yesterday. It has been bothering me for a week or maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and let's try to get this thing fixed. So the first thing I did was to stop doing shit that hurts. So I'm not sure how pushing exercises, you feel pain in your elbows, like in your brachialis. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but even if it is pushing exercises, stop doing the pushing exercises that hurt. So if military press freaking hurts, do push-ups. If pseudo planche push-up hurt, go with a wider position, or go with dips, or go with ring dips. Find a variation that feels good and go with that variation. So the goal would be for the first week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks to not feel pain, or at least on a scale from 1 to 10 to feel the pain up to the level 3. Okay, so it was a little bit uncomfortable when I went with chin-ups just not to aggravate the brachialis, and I did about, did 3 sets of 5 reps, whatever I did, and it wasn't, like, it was a little bit uncomfortable, but it wasn't painful. So let's say 3 out of 10 was the pain, and that's perfect. And go like that for a week, or at least about 3 weeks. So for 3 weeks would be perfecto if you didn't feel any pain with your pushing exercise, or any pain in your elbow. And then later on you try to strengthen what is weak. So let's say what was weak was brachialis, for example. You try to strengthen it. By that you do 5 sets of 5 pull-ups, and if that is too easy, you do it weighted, and you make sure not to do it too often, and slowly go back into training. So slowly, again, it doesn't make sense how the pushing exercises hurt, but slowly go back into the pushing exercises. After about 3 weeks of without pain, try to slowly introduce back the progression that was painful in the beginning, but hopefully right now feels better, and that's the only way to go about it. So yeah, that's basically it. Jesus Christ, we have a lot of questions, so yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of AskDOM episodes, but this was the first one. I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, thank you for your time. And yeah, one more thing, if you want to have some amazing progress with your training, I have 3 tips for you. So 3 things that will make your training drastically easier and your progress drastically better. So also improve the quality of your muscle mass and yeah, your recovery, which basically means you'll be able to do more work and have greater progress. So if you're interested, and I know you are, click the link right here below the video, and I'll see you guys right there. So don't hesitate, click the link, and I'll see you guys right there. Thank you for your time, and remember, you're a champion. Boom.